started singing when he was 8 years old in Sweetwater, Texas. And he sang in the quartet, Songfellows Quartet, until he was 93.
Oh.
So he had a very long career. And of course, for the most part of that was, he was doing that himself. It was not my thing. In high school, the quartet, his quartet, was on television on Sunday afternoon. And one Sunday afternoon, well, actually, it was about a Wednesday, the baritone singer had to go quickly back to Oklahoma because his father got sick. So they looked around for someone who could sing baritone with the quartet, and they had nobody. So they looked at me and they said, "Would you want to try doing this?" And I had no interest whatsoever. But they said, "We have nobody else. Would you try it?" And I said, "Well, I was 17. I'll try anything." So they bought me a black suit, and they taught me 6 songs, the baritone part like a counter melody. I had no idea what I was doing, but they taught me these songs, and I thought what I was singing was the melody because that's all I had heard. Well, then when the group got together, the bass singer actually worked with me and taught me those songs. We got together then, and the other 3 parts came in, and all of a sudden I heard this 4-part harmony. And such a thrill. It's
Oh,
like one of
yes.
those one-time, epiphanies that you think, wow, what is this? So I was kind of hooked, and I sang with him then for a number of years, and then got married, had a little boy, and I left the quartet and was gone from the time my oldest son was born to the time my youngest son went away to college. And then my dad still wanted to sing, so we got back involved again. This was about 1989, I guess, and we've been doing it ever since. And then in 2006, he had passed away. He sang in the group till he was 93. Was inducted into the Southern Gospel Music Hall of Fame. In fact, that was the last place he ever did a public performance, was at his
Oh.
induction ceremony. But after he had passed away, I moved the quartet. I retired from the musical instrument business and moved to Nashville. And in fact, I moved the company I was president of to Middle Tennessee with the idea that I would finish out my contract and then retire from that and then just minister for whatever years I have left. And that's really what we've done. So we started in 2006 in Nashville and have been working ever since. And God has blessed us.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
had some marvelous services. We don't do this, quartet business. I've been around it all my life. And when I was a kid, it was mostly Christian entertainment. Went through that phase. And now most of the groups are really ministry oriented. And certainly we are. Like last night, we had a wonderful service, and we had a prayer for sick people at the end of the program, and we've had a number of marvelous miracles, healings of people in services we've been in. So it really is kind of a different quartet environment today than it was when I started out, and I think God is using us and blessing folks, and folks ought to come out tonight, even if they've never heard a gospel quartet before. It'll be something new and refreshing. And if they have heard gospel quartets, they'll like Rick Strickland, who is one of the great tenor singers, Mike Allen, who's one of the great bass singers, and they'll enjoy the music.
Well, we have to touch on Mr. Ed. Ed Hill, unfortunately, is not with the group tonight. Ed's been sick, and we've been sending up prayers for him. I put him on our prayer list at church, and I think a lot of people have. But he's doing fine, and he's at home now, but he just needs to get some rest.
Well, Ed is the quintessential quartet man.
Oh,
I mean, he
yes.
loves being on the bus. He says that he sleeps better on the bus than he does at home. And, of course, he's been doing this for 60 years.
Yes.
And he'll be 80 years old in just a few months.
Oh, yeah.
So he's been doing it all of his life. And I talked to him yesterday, and he was really disappointed that he couldn't
Oh,
make
I'm
the trip because
sorry,
he just
too.
loves being out here and doing this, and he still does such a great job. But we have a fellow named Howard Sullivan who is filling in, and he'll do great tonight. He did fine last night, and so I think I know it's not. He's a new guy. It's Howard Stewart.
Okay.
So anyway, got to get his name right. Anyway, Ed is going to be fine, and he's looking forward to going with us on the California West Coast tour next month, and we just want him to get well.
Well, Ed told me one time, I think we were at Kings Mountain when I was there, he said, I'm just looking forward to getting my book and getting back in my bunk. So he's an avid reader, too.
Yes, he is.
Milton?
Oh, that I just going to say that we have your latest CD.
Good.
We're going to play a selection off that when you guys are ready. But if you want to do that now or just whenever, you just let me know.
Well, I'd like Bob to tell a little bit. Of course, he mentioned Steinway and Baldwin, and what did you do there prior to you working full time?
Well, when I got off the quartet bus, I was 26 years old and started out as a sales rep for the Thomas Organ Company up in the Northwest. Then I became sales manager of the company, and then I was recruited by who was then CBS. CBS owned Steinway in those days, and they recruited me from all strange places. A 33-year-old kid from California to move to New York City to be head of sales and marketing for the Steinway piano. And that was, of course, a big break in my career.
Oh, yeah.
So we moved to New York. My wife was not sure she wanted to move from California to New York, but we did. We moved to New York, and that was, it was a great experience. And worked for Henry Steinway and John Steinway, and they were wonderful men to learn the piano business from. And I had lots of time to spend in the Steinway factory, learned all about piano technology and the way to make fine pianos. And then the Thomas Organ Company induced me to come back as general manager of the company a few years after I went to Steinway. So I was there and, was running the Thomas Organ Company for a few years. Then the organ business sort of went away, and I got into consumer electronics. I was sales manager for the VP of sales for the Curtis Mathis home entertainment products. And then I joined a company that was based in Korea called Samick Music Corporation, the largest guitar maker in the world. It makes Epiphone guitars and Fender guitars and a lot of other guitars, and also pianos. And we built that business from a small U.S. operation to a very large company here in the United States. And then I went as CEO to the Baldwin piano, and then went back to Samick after Baldwin was in financial difficulty, and we went and cleaned it up and sold the company actually to Gibson Guitar Company. And then I went back to California where the weather was better.
Oh, yes, yes. Well, it's interesting to find out that you designed the baby grand that I play at church.
How about that?
And that is so nice to know, and I'm going to think about that every time I sit down. I know the man that did this. So that's great. Well, we do have a CD that Bob brought us, and which cut, Bob, did you...
Well, the new radio single that is just going out is What a Homecoming Day.
Oh, okay.
It was a song written by J.D. Sumner.
Oh,
and
yes.
It's got a beautiful message. As Christians, we all can look forward to the day that we're going to be reunited with all of our loved ones.
Oh, yeah.
And as we get older, there are more loved ones on the other side than there are here. And
That's right.
so it'll be a wonderful day when we arrive there. I can just imagine how excited my father will be, and my grandparents and uncles and aunts, and when you show up there on the heavenly shore. So it's really a song about that. What a homecoming day.
Well, let's take a listen. What a homecoming day. This is the Songfellow Quartet.
What a day is coming, oh what joy 'twill be, when at last my Jesus I see. There'll be no more sorrow, no more tear-dimmed eyes, and nobody will Jesus is waiting for me. Then I'll rest by the river. Won't you meet me there? Then my homecoming day will share. What a homecoming day with my Lord for day. We will walk on streets of pure gold in million years and never a fear. What a day, what a homecoming day. What a homecoming day with my Lord for day. We will walk on streets of pure gold. In million years and never a fear. What a day, what a homecoming day. In million
Wow, that is wonderful. Oh, I just had to tear up.
Well, that's the old style of gospel quartet singing. Folks that are listening that have been hearing some of the young groups may find that a little different because quartet music has evolved. When I started out, and for most of the years of gospel music, it really has been a strong tenor and bass, kind of music. And in today's music, because the writers are young and they're writing more progressive sounding songs, they don't know how to write for bass singers or tenor singers.
That's right.
And so lead singers and baritones get more of the solo parts. And so the quartet of today sound just different. And we still love to feature the tenor singer. Rick Strickland is one of the fine tenor singers
Oh, he is.
that's currently active or ever has been active. And Mike Allen, of course, was on all the Gaither videos, and he does a great job. And, of course, Ed and me fill the middle. But so that makes us a very traditional quartet. I mean, we could have been that same sound you'd have heard back in 1960. And folks seem to like that. And that makes us a little different than say, Mark Trammell Quartet or Brian Free and Assurance or Legacy 5 or some of those quartets. We still sound like the Blackwood Brothers and the Statesmen and the guys from that era.
The good old Rick.
Stamps
Well, I
Quartet.
tell you, Bob, you and Ed, I mean, I love to hear you sing. Now, you've got a wonderful voice.
Well, thank you.
I love to hear you sing. And Mr. Ed, sweet Mr. Ed, he can sing as well. And then what I love to see is that not only do you love to sing, but you believe what you're singing in.
It's who we sing about.
That's who you sing about.
Because, if it wasn't for that, then this is a lot of work for very little pay and very little notoriety. So that can't be your motivation. Money and fame cannot be any part of your expectation, because that's just not going to happen in gospel music. But we sing because the message, and we sing sometimes to very small crowds, sometimes to larger crowds, but we sing wherever God calls us. We don't demand a certain flat. We go for a love offering, and God always sees that the folks love us just enough to keep us going and getting down the road. And that's really all that we can ask or expect, as He provides what we need. And it's just wonderful to be able to sing songs that encourage folks and point them to the only way that they can find salvation, and that's through the blood of Jesus Christ. I hope that's okay on your station to say.
Sure, absolutely.
Oh, sure it is.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, I lost my mother in August, and I've really had a battle with it. Excuse me. And it's songs like that that give me the hope and reiterate the hope of what I believe I will see her again.
Well, there's another song in there that you might want to play. It's called, let's see, let me look at make sure I get the right one. Lord, I'm ready now to go.
Okay.
And this is one that talks about there's a city on high where we're headed, and it's just going to be wonderful. That's what it's all about. It's about God's love here and spending eternity with Christ.
That's right. That's right.
All right, you want to play the...
be fine.
All right, this is also from that new CD, Feeling Fine, the Songfellows Quartet. Lord, I'm ready now to go. Here we go.
There's a city on high, far beyond the blue sky,
A paradise unknown.
such a wonderful place for the ransomed by grace.
And none shall e'er grow old. Oh, that land of joy and wonderful beauty,
Where all my
where I know my friends are miles away.
patiently waiting.
Day by day I know I'm doing my duty.
My duty seems that
I can hardly wait to hear the day.
into that home and
Since I almost hear the welcome bells ringing,
gladly ringing.
I'm just waiting for the trumpet to blow.
That trumpet sounding,
How I want to join the wonderful singing.
wonderful singing.
Lord, I'm ready now to go.
Now's the time to do right, morning, evening, and night.
For we'll be judged someday.
There's a heaven above, we shall sing of His love.
While ages roll away. Oh, that land of joy and wonderful beauty,
Where all my
where I know my friends are miles away.
patiently waiting.
Day by day I know I'm doing my duty.
My duty seems that
I can hardly wait to hear the day.
into that home and
Since I almost hear the welcome bells ringing,
gladly ringing.
I'm just waiting for the trumpet to blow.
Trumpet sounding,
How I want to join the wonderful singing.
wonderful singing.
Lord, I'm ready now to go.
How I long to join that wonderful singing.
Lord, I'm ready now to go.
Wonderful song.
That's what I mean. There's a bass counter melody all through that. Of course, J.D. Sumner wrote that song.
Well,
You
I could tell Mike kind of put in the little JD there at the end, didn't
Right,
he?
I sure did. Yeah.
Well, Bob, it has just been a pleasure to have you, and I'm looking forward to coming tonight. I'll be there early.
Okay, well
So,
that's good. Well, let's make sure that the folks know the address where we're going to be tonight.
Mount Sinai Baptist Church. I don't have it right here with me. I hate
Let's see.
that.
Let's
Let's look, find it right quick, Milton. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Because
bring my-
it's a Tuesday night, and
Yes.
it's a little bit before Christmas. By the way, we have a brand new Christmas album
Oh yeah.
that just came out a week ago, and we'll be doing some Christmas songs tonight. The quartet will, and we'll also be doing some of the gospel songs. So I would encourage folks, particularly those that have never heard a quartet before, come out and experience it. There's no
yes.
admission. Just come, and if you feel inclined to put something in the plate, that's good. And if not, we want you to come and enjoy the music anyway. But it's a wonderful genre of music that is not real well known, even here in the Bible Belt. used to be more famous than it is today, but so many other things have come in and crowded out our consciousness and our attention. But folks will love it, and just I think it starts at 6:30, and just grab something quick to eat for dinner. Come on out and just join us. It'll run about an hour and a half probably, so we'll be out of there by 8 o'clock.
All right.
Is that in Shelby?
It's in Shelby.
Okay, it's 1227 Mount Sinai Church Road.
Okay, not
Shelby,
hard
North
to find
Carolina.
at all.
1227.
They'll be there at 6:30, right?
Yes, but 6:30 the service begins, but come and get a good seat and meet the song fellows. These 4 wonderful guys, and I'm proud to call them my friends.
Well, if you come tonight, be sure and come up and tell us at the record table that you heard about it on the radio,
Okay?
because that would be nice to know that folks are listening and responding. And anyway, it'll be a wonderful time, and folks will get a blessing. I think they'll
I
enjoy
know
it.
they will. Having been there before, you are in for a big treat. That's it, Milton.
All right. Nice to meet you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yep.
Nice to be with you.
And Sandy, wonderful job today. And folks, we thank you for tuning in to the Community Profile today. Join us again next time for the Community Profile. It's a service here, public service program, public affairs program, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday here on Big O Country and KTCBroadcasting.com. We'll see you next time.